What's up, guys? This is the American Foot Channel, and today we're actually going to be discussing World Cup qualifying in CONCACAF. We just had the draw a couple days ago, and obviously, since Mexico, the US, and Canada are going to be hosting, they're not going to be in it. So that opens up a lot of possibilities in this qualifying process. I'm also Salvadorian, you see that? So obviously, I'd like for them to make it through, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Anyways, guys, here's my prediction. But before that, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, okay? And let's get started with this prediction or preview, whatever you want to call it. So these qualifiers will be a little different. So in addition to the fact that there's already 3 CONCACAF teams in the tournament because of the expanded format with 48 teams, there's also going to be an additional 3 that will be joining directly after the final round, which I'll probably do another video for that because I can't really predict how that's going to go if I don't know who's going to be in the final round, right? But also there's going to be 2 playoff spots where 2 CONCACAF teams will play teams from other regions. I believe it's going to be some type of tournament or something like that. But once again, I can't even predict who's going to qualify from that because I don't know who's going to be in that yet. We haven't even started this process yet. But as of right now, we did get that draw. And before even the first or the group round, there's a first round where it's between 4 teams. But anyways, guys, the first round does consist of 4 teams. We see the first game is Anguilla versus Turks and Caicos. Guys, I'm going to be serious. I don't really know anything about these teams. I know Salvador once beat Anguilla like 12. It was like 10 or 12-0. It's like their biggest win of all time. So those are the only times I can remember I've seen them play. I've never seen Turks and Caicos play in my life. But I guess I'm just going to say Turks and Caicos goes through because I've never seen El Salvador score 10 goals on them. Why not? Even though I'm pretty sure Anguilla is a better team. But I'm just going to say Turks and Caicos. And then there's the U.S. Virgin Islands versus the British Virgin Islands. Once again, I don't know a single thing about either of these teams. But you know what? Let's go USA. So I'm going to say U.S. Virgin Islands are going to make it through. Guys, I honestly don't know. I can't tell you anything about these teams, to be honest. I can't name a single player, but that's about as good of a prediction you're going to get from me with these 2. That's just me being honest. But anyways, guys, once these teams make it through, you know, whichever one of these teams makes it through, then it's the second round, which is a group stage, as you can see here. But let's look at that first group, which is Honduras, Antigua and Barbuda, Cuba, Bermuda, and Cayman Islands. I think Honduras should top this group, no problem. There's kind of like this myth, which isn't really like a myth. It's kind of like saying that the Honduras team is not very good. And that's for the most part true until you get to their attack. Honduras is very solid in their attack. One of the best teams in the region. You know, they got Choco Lozano, who plays for Getafe in Spain. They got Albert Ellis, who is in France, but he might be coming back to MLS. A good player, Panterita. You've got Romel Kyoto, who's a little older now, but still a solid player. Probably better than most of the players on the other teams. And then you got Luis Palma, who's absolutely killing it in Celtic. He's a Celtic star, Luis Palma. He's a good player. You know, he's played in Champions League already. He's done his thing in Scotland, so pretty solid team in the attack. Yeah, their midfield is decent, kind of decent, somewhat decent, and their defense is pretty bad. If you have Daniel Maldonado starting for you, your defense isn't very good. But I think they should top this group, no problem. And in second place, honestly, I think it's between Cuba and Bermuda. I've seen Bermuda play before, and they're actually not that bad. But I do think Cuba is probably gonna sneak right past them and get that second spot. And then Cayman Islands and Antigua and Barbuda, once again, I'd be lying if I told you guys I knew anything about them. I really don't. I don't expect them to finish first or even second at all. I think it's going to be a battle between Cuba and Bermuda, and I think Cuba is probably going to advance. They've got some decent players in their team. Bermuda has a decent shot at advancing, but I think it probably will be Cuba. And then we look at Group B, Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, and Bahamas. I think Costa Rica will advance first place. They do have an aging team, which is like something that everyone mentions when it's about Costa Rica now. They still have Keylor Navas, who I think should definitely be in 2026 if they make it. You know, he's still a really good shot stopper, really good keeper. but they do have some young talent. You know, they have Bennett from Sunderland. They have what's his name? Aguilar. He's a younger player too. I've seen them both play. I think they're pretty good players. They've also got Manfred Ugalde, who for some reason has some issues with the national team and doesn't play, which is kind of crazy because he's a young player and he might be their best player. He's doing really good for Twente in Holland, in the Netherlands. They definitely need him, and like I said, they have Keylor Navas and they do have some experienced players. I don't see them having any issues getting through this round. They should definitely be in first place. Now, second place is kind of iffy because Trinidad and Tobago, those years ago, you'd be like, yeah, sure, they're going to make it. Why not? This isn't the same team. They're pretty low level. A lot of USL level players. They do have Levi Garcia that plays in Greece. He's a pretty good player, actually. I do rate him. I think someone like that is probably going to be the difference maker here and probably push them go through to the second round. I think they're slightly better than St. Kitts and Nevis at this point. We saw that during the Gold Cup. I think Grenada could possibly push for that second spot. Definitely don't see Bahamas doing it. Once again, I don't know too much of them, but based on what I do know, I don't see them advancing. So I think it should be Costa Rica and Trinidad and Tobago advancing in this Group B. Like I said, Grenada and St. Kitts could maybe make a push, but probably going to be Trinidad and Tobago. They got a couple difference makers in their team. Then we look at Group C: Haiti, Curaçao, St. Lucia, Barbados, and Aruba. I'd be lying to you guys if I told you I knew anything about St. Lucia, Barbados, or Aruba. Once again, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think probably Curaçao is going to advance first. They got some decent players playing in the Netherlands. They've had players even play like in the Premier League and the Championship. So they're still pretty decent, decent team. Haiti, they've got players playing in like the top 3 tiers of France. I think that's much better than anything that St. Lucia, Barbados, or Aruba have. So I think it's probably going to be Curaçao first and Haiti second. I mean, I don't know. Let me know if you guys think otherwise down in the comments, but that's what I think. I can't really tell you much about the other teams. And then Group D, Panama, Nicaragua, Guyana, Montserrat, and Belize. I think Panama should advance no problem here. I can't see anyone in this group even beating them even once. Second place, maybe it could be Nicaragua. I think Belize it's gonna be between Belize and Nicaragua probably. Nicaragua has been on the come up a little bit more. They've been a little better recently. I definitely can't see Guyana or Montserrat. I've seen Guyana play a few times and they've been terrible every single time. No offense, Guyana. People from Guyana. Guyanese, is that what you would refer to them? I'm not quite sure. But anyways, I think it's going to be between Nicaragua and Belize. I think Nicaragua is probably going to sneak right past them because they've actually gotten a little better in football, while Belize has been exactly where Belize is from when I could remember from being a child. So I think it's going to be Panama and Nicaragua who advance from this Group D. Once again, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments. And then we look at Group E: Jamaica, Guatemala, Dominican Republic, Dominica, and the winner of playoff 2. Let's look at who that is. So the playoff 2 is between the Virgin Islands. So like I said, I think the U.S. Virgin Islands is going to advance based solely on the fact that they have U.S. in their name. Either way, I don't think it really matters much. I think Jamaica will for sure finish first place in this group. Jamaica are a little iffy. You never know what you're going to get from them. But I think they have more than enough quality to advance this group with no real issues. They have some really good players. I mean, if Leon Bailey's here throughout most of the qualifiers, and you even get, 75% of what we've seen him do in the Premier League, he's a damn good player already. But I think they should definitely advance first place. And then I look at the other teams: Guatemala, Dominican Republic, Dominica, and possibly one of the Virgin Islands. Dominica's, I don't know anything about them, but I will tell you, I can guarantee you they will not advance through this group stage. But the second place is kind of iffy between Guatemala and Dominican Republic. Guatemala has advanced quite a bit, and they've been managed by a Mexican coach, Tena. They've been pretty good recently. But Dominican Republic, they've also been a lot better recently, and they've got players playing in the top 3 Spanish tiers. They've got some good young players, so it's going to be interesting. it's a rough guess on who's going to qualify, because then you even look at Dominican Republic. You know, they were at the U20 World Cup. Like, they've been advancing in football. They've become better now. They've got a lot of Spanish influence in their team. I still do think that Guatemala is going to advance, simply due to the fact that when they have to play in Guatemala City, it's going to be tough for them. It's not going to be easy. It's a not that easy of an environment to play. I've seen other teams struggle. I've seen the U.S. struggle there before, and this is actually a decent Guatemala team that we've seen gave Mexico trouble in a friendly. Was a friendly, but still a tough team, and they're under Luis Tena. Like I said, Mexican coach. You know, he has his team really well organized. Like I said before, Mexican coaches are very tactical. So he's got this team possibly overachieving for what they have in their team. They do have some dual nationals that are a big deal, to at least for Guatemala. They got Rubio Rubin, who just moved to Mexico, to Querétaro. They also got Nathaniel Mendez Lang. You know, this dude's been doing his thing in England, mainly in championship, throughout most of his career. So, you know, he's definitely someone that brings quality to this Guatemala team, that some quality they haven't had in a while. You look at Ordonez too, from Cincinnati. You know, he's still a young player, dual national American as well. So he's got some quality. Their goalkeeping situation is not too bad. They got Nicholas Hagen. He's not too bad of a goalkeeper. So I definitely see Guatemala advancing, maybe just slightly. But Dominican Republic is going to be a tough challenge for Guatemala for sure. But I could see them advancing to the next round. And then the final group is Group F, where we have El Salvador, Suriname, Puerto Rico, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and then we have that winner between Anguilla and what's her name, Turks and Caicos. Sorry, it's hard to remember all these teams. Once again, I don't think Anguilla or either Anguilla or Turks and Caicos, which I chose Turks and Caicos for some reason. I don't think that it really matters who makes it through there. I think the real battle is really going to be between El Salvador, Suriname, and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has improved in football recently as well. They have some outside influence. They have dual nationals. They have players from the U.S. They have players from Spain. But I don't think it's going to be enough for them. I think a team like Puerto Rico or even like St. Vincent and the Grenadines having to go play in El Salvador, it's a tough environment, and I think Suriname's going to struggle there as well. Even though they've got some quality, they've got some Dutch players. You know, whether it's in the Eredivisie or in the second division, which I can't remember the name right now. But I do think that El Salvador will finish first, even though they're a team it's been kind of a mess and some turmoil ever since they let Hugo Perez go, which I think is a huge mistake that they let him go. They brought this Spanish coach. Dude I don't even think he played a single game and he left. He got a gig in the Portuguese first division, which fair enough to him, and he left. And now they got this other coach who's actually Spanish as well. Not too much experience. His name is David Doniga. I don't even really know too much about him, but he's another Spanish coach. He's replacing Barrera. I think for them, like I said, they're in real turmoil right now. They've got some players, some dual nationals that will help the team, like Alex Roldan, who's the better of the Roldans. I think he's a quality player in CONCACAF. You know, they've got what's his name, Zabaleta, who's I don't really rate too much, but he's a lot better than a lot of defenders in these other teams. You know, they got Moreno, who plays in USL, but he's a decent player. They've got some decent players here that could help. Mostly USL level players, but that's a lot higher than some of the players in these other teams. But I think having to play in El Salvador, which I'm not even sure if they're going to play in the Estadio Cuscatlán, because they did just renovate the other stadium, the Jorge Mágico González Stadium in San Salvador as well. So they might play some games there. I think I prefer them playing, even though that stadium's renovated and the pitch is nicer, I think I prefer them still playing in Cuscatlán just because of how heavy it is to play there. Like, the grass sucks and it's just like the atmosphere. Hopefully they do play more games there, but I think that alone is going to help them get through this stage and help them get through to the next round. And then I see Suriname getting through as second because they just have more quality than Puerto Rico, St. Vincent, or Turks and Caicos or Anguilla, whoever makes it. Like I said, it doesn't really matter who makes it out of them. But that's how I see it, guys. So these are the teams I see advancing. I mean, my predictions are nothing too crazy. I mean, I think most people that know anything about CONCACAF football would choose these teams to advance. It's definitely going to be interesting to see once the third round starts. But once that happens, then I'll make a prediction video on that, guys. But like I said, these are my predictions. Just really quickly to go over them again. Group A, I think Honduras and Cuba are going to go through. Group B, Costa Rica and Trinidad and Tobago are going to go through. Group C, I think it's going to be Curaçao and Haiti that go through. Group D, Panama, Nicaragua. Like I said, not too many surprises. Group E, Jamaica, Guatemala. I think Guatemala will just get through, just sneak by. And then Group F, El Salvador and Suriname. I think that's what's going to happen. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe either. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. Let me know if you think your team's going to make it. Let me know if you could see Turks and Caicos in the next World Cup. All right, so y'all have a good one. Take care.